Do, 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 do. Hey, it's me. Just me. I have my homemate, my homeboy here, J Hood Creative. It's bath time now, so I get the reins. I get to run things. So I get to talk about whatever I want to talk about. Now, you may be thinking, hey, there's nobody here. What's Victor going to talk about? Talk about what I always talk about, whatever comes to my mind. Like, did you know that tomorrow is the first day of college basketball? Kind of excited for it. Kind of worried about it. My girls from Notre Dame, they get to have their redemption year. And since there was no postseason last year, we also get to keep our streak of making the tournament alive. Woohoo! Let's see, what else is there? Comic books, and more comic books. We're gonna have a show here in a little bit. We got a lot of stuff to show off. Got to show off some really cool stuff that Comichead 84 gave me. Kind of hyped about it, and really excited about it actually. And so that's that. And then let's see, what else do we have going on here? I'm just sitting here going through like all the things, really cool stuff here, right? He has this really big book called Pistol Whip. Now, I would borrow it to read it because that's what I like to do. Find something I like and I borrow it to read it. But the problem is I never actually get around to reading it. So, yeah. But I have to give it a shot. Can I borrow it, Jamie? Sure, you can borrow it, Victor. Woohoo! So I get to borrow Pistol Whip now. Let's see, Hand of Fire. Take that back. He can keep Pistol Whip. I think I'll borrow Hand of Fire. That sounds really cool. Then there's Alex Toth books, crime, these huge Star Wars books. It's nothing but artwork. And as we both know, artwork makes the world go around. At least that's what Jamie's been teaching me. The story, as long as the art's on point, the book will sell because the art is what makes the book important. And so, say that to say, that's that. So I covered sports. Football. The first college football playoff rankings came out today. Alabama's number one, Roll Tide. And number two is the Fighting Irish from Notre Dame. Woohoo! And number three, it's that little team that we spanked once. Hey, you got somebody? How been? It's just me. I'm just talking to nobody till it's time for our show to start. While it's bath time. So I get the reins here for a little bit. So Ben, tell me something. What's new with you? Ask me anything. I'm a wealth of knowledge. I'm a wealth of useless knowledge. If I can ever get past that online Jeopardy test, I'd be a genius. I'd make a ton of money on Jeopardy. I say that humbly speaking. Okay, that's on the screen. So, hi Ben. Don't worry, we're still going to do the real show here in about 15 minutes or so. But this is just, me being me. And let's see. Captain Comics. Har, matey. Ooh, maids and mermaids. Hey, like I said before, I'm just here talking because I got here early and Jamie still has work to do. Apparently being a parent is a never-ending job. It's a rewarding job out here too, but not being a parent. Okay, so I worked in youth ministry for the last 20 plus years. I have lots of kids all over the place. That sounds really bad, but I do. Love my kids. Shout out to Echo. Shout out to H2O. Shout out to Student Impact. Just a few of the youth ministries I helped out with throughout the years. But so I'm just here talking, seeing what's going on in the community. So college football playoff Final Four came out. Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson. Kenny, 84. I'm excited to show what you got me. I am really excited. Here's just the tease. A really cool letter. It's upside down. But I'm excited. I really, really, well, I can't give anything away, but I really like them. So, Snoo, is there anything else going on in the community tonight? Usually there's let's say Tuesday. Oh yeah, the Lame It or Frame It, but I don't see any of that going on. Just a slow night in the community. Everybody's getting ready for Thanksgiving, right? It's a good time of the year where we have good food, good family. Actually, family might be a little better this year because all the troublemaking family won't be around. Well, but it'll be a good time. It'll be the first time in 3 years my wife will be home. Woohoo! Who's your nerd? Hello. Yes, I'm taking over. Disco, disco. Good evening. Man, how is life in the Bay? It has to be so nice out there. So, yeah, so we got lots of people here. I got to act right now. Comic books are the best thing known to mankind. You know what? I have been involved with this for probably a little more than a year now. And it's one of the best things that I've ever done, really. It's been really cool getting to know the community. I mean, like you guys. I mean, you guys are great. The other people in the community are great. The books are amazing. I mean, once again, I stand for Boom. Once and Future is the first series I really just got into. I mean, and I'm loving every bit of it. Right now, I'm loving the Avengers run. And, that might be a small minority of us, but I'm loving it. And I'm just liking all these series that keep coming out that I'm getting into. Like I'm waiting to get a few more into the new Batman storyline, but I have those books ready to go so I can jump into those and read those too. So I'm really excited. Actually, how about this for a little bit of a teaser? I started reading the Far Sector, and I'm hooked on it. I mean, I know I'm a little late to the game, but I think there should be a trade coming out soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that series. But it's been a good time. Good time in the community. Good time with books. I love to read, as you know that. My man Bake the Snake mentioned earlier today. Ready Player 2 is out, and I can't wait to read that book. Can't wait. I have the Audible, listen to the Audible. Oh, I read the book first. Matter of fact, Jamie talks about the time that we first met, or that we actually first spent time together when we drove to this men's retreat. And that weekend, Jamie was painting something, but he also had a copy of Ready Player One. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to read this book." He still ain't read the book. But I read the book. I listened to the Audible about 500 times. I watched the movie 3 times, even though I hated each and every one. I kept hoping that it was going to become a good movie the next time I watched it. That didn't happen. And so, but I love the Audible. Love the Audible. Will Wheaton does a great job. And so I'm probably going to get the Audible book here next week or so. And the real book, and then jump into that Ready Player 2. If you haven't read Ready Player 1, I recommend it wholeheartedly. Matter of fact, there is a book series called Superpowers. Superpowers Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4. That is my favorite book series. And it's driving me batty. I can't think of who the author is right now. But Superpowers is like one of the best book series I've ever read. And Drew Hayes wrote it. Great series. It's about these kids that go to Superpower High School. Ooh. I get reception. Hey, I must get reception down here in the basement at nighttime. Who knew that? Now I do. But The Mandalorian. So the first season I watched The Mandalorian. I loved it. Then I'm like, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. I kind of fell off. Actually, it's on my list to do for the next month or so before the end of the year to get back into The Mandalorian and maybe like it again. But once again, it's just like, okay, so you're liking The Mandalorian? All right, so maybe I just need to give it a chance to get through that little part in the middle where I felt like, where are we going with this? Quo Vadis, where are we going? And I was just like, where are we going? But finally, I'm going to get back into it. But that's nice to know that you like it. Disco, I'm assuming you like The Mandalorian. Lots of people love The Mandalorian, so I got to get back on that. And I've watched all the Star Wars movies. I probably got like half of them. I'm one of the people that like Jar Jar Binks. So, there's where my Star Wars credibility goes out the window right there, right? But I like Star Wars. I like space. I like Star Trek. I like sci-fi. I like it all. So, but yeah, so. But that's good. Totally digging The Mandalorian. All right, so I can't wait to get into it. But you know what show that I really missed that I loved? The Orville. The Orville. Orville? Orville. The Orville. It came on Fox, I think. And it's supposed to come on Hulu, but COVID just messed up everything. But I love the Orville. And I was really surprised how much I love the Orville. And I'm really looking forward to them getting back onto that. And matter of fact, I liked it so much about the comic book series. I add the comic book series to my pull list. Yeah, it only took me 2 issues to take it off my pull list, though. So, that's how that goes. Hey, is there anything out there that I should be reading that I'm not? And basically, I'm not reading anything. I'm reading all the stuff that nobody else reads. But what are some things that you guys read and I probably should be reading? That's a good question. Oh, I feel like God, I can do this. I have all the power. I feel like The Mandalorian isn't so much a long narrative plot show, but just like an episodic Western. Yes. Yes. And maybe that's what it is, my mindset. Because the first few episodes were all about, we got to get the kid or the Baby Yoda. All right, I'll just call it Baby Yoda. We got to get Baby Yoda. We got to get Baby Yoda. So we got him. And then we spurned the people. We had the big fight. And now we're just going for the episode of the week. But I like that. That's I have to put, that's a good point. I'll put it up twice. An episodic Western. That is exactly what it's like. Space Cowboys. The Order. The Order. I think I started watching The Order. And I really like The Order. If I'm not mistaken, it's on Netflix. And I really like that. J Hood is 90. No, J Hood is gone. Coach Vic is 90. Keep it real. Hello, 90. Star Wars is a space Western. Huh. Makes sense. Makes total sense. I don't know why I never thought of that before. That's why you guys are here, to enlighten and brighten me. So Star Wars is a space Western. That makes total sense. Now I'm going to be thinking about that for a while, or at least until we start our show here in about 10 minutes. Seawood, hey, yo. The little Scott Hall, every time you say, hey, yo, you got to flip your toothpick out. And it's amazing how Scott Hall, whenever he flips the toothpick, he always manages to come up with another toothpick from someplace else. Yes, there we go. Coach Vic is 90. Yay! 90 miles from... Oh, I never knew that was what that stood for. It's a podcast? Well, I'll have to check that out. I have to look that up on Google Pods, and see what it's about. I love podcasts. So I'm just here talking, being me. I'm not a wrestling fan. Yeah, I can't do the people's eyebrow. See, when I was in Chicago and I was doing my internship at a church in Chicago's youth, is one of the youth leaders. I also worked part-time at a gas station, and we brought this guy in, Dwayne. He was training to be a manager. And so I was like, Jimmy, what do you like to do? And he said, I like wrestling. I'm like, wrestling? And I was just laughing. I'm like, yeah, whatever, wrestling. He said, all right, Vic, I want you to give me 3 weeks. You watch it for 3 weeks, and you'll be hooked. So the first week, I was like, yeah, all right. The second week, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. So like, we started watching wrestling. I mean, we would call each other during Nitro and what was the other one? Raw. And it's just like, oh, can you believe this? It was just great. And so Dwayne, for his birthday, he told his wife that he wanted 2 tickets to see Nitro. Yeah, it is. And so we went to the United Center to watch Nitro. Man, first of all, when those infernos go up, where you call them, it got warm in there. Okay, the fire was a little close. It was way over there, but it got warm. But then that limo pulled up in the back, and you heard that burn. It's like, Hogan's here. And so we were hyped. Because, Hogan, going back to, Friday night main event, Saturday night's main event? My first wrestling match I ever saw when Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik. when he escaped the camel clutch. I might be a little older than you guys, but when Hogan broke out the camel clutch, that was it. That was it. I was hooked. Because we had wrestling at the Chase in St. Louis, we had the Von Erichs. I mean, yes. So I went through a dry spell where I didn't watch wrestling, but then I came back to wrestling when I was in Chicago. But one day I was watching wrestling. I called up Dwayne. I said, "Can you believe this?" And Dwayne's like, "Man, Victor, wrestling's stupid." I'm like, what? I said, "Wrestling's fake. I can't believe these grown men watch wrestling." I was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. Look, man, you were right. You were right. I love wrestling." And that's how it was. I loved wrestling. But then the worst thing that ever happened to wrestling happened. The WWE ran the WCW out of business. And I will tell you, one thing I have learned throughout life, in order for something to excel, to be as good as it can be, it needs competition. WWE had no competition, or WWF back then. No competition. I mean, it was still a decent show, but it lacked competition, so there wasn't that edge. I mean, Eric Bischoff was giving us like main event shows on a Monday night when he shouldn't have. Hey, for VV, V Vigilante. And so I just felt like when WWE ran WCW out of business, there was no more competition. And, I feel like it went downhill, and I lost a little bit of interest, and I fell away from wrestling. Then moving up here a couple of years ago, this guy moved into the town, became good friends, and he was a fan of wrestling. And so he's been trying to get me into AEW. I really like AEW when I watch it. And trying to get me back into WWE because of course, he pays for the membership. That's how much he loves it. So I've been watching it. It's interesting, but I'm not in love with it like I once was. Back in the day with The Rock, Stone Cold, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. Hey you. But I've always been more of a fan of the Wolfpack theme song. And when you hear that, oh, bump, 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 you get hype, right? You get hype. Jump up and down. The Wolfpack, yeah. But growing up, my mom was always a fan of JYD, Junkyard Dog. I didn't realize too much later it's because she would prefer Junkyard Dog to my dad. But hey, everybody has issues, right? But so that's my wrestling story and how I like wrestling. Wrestling in high school, two different things entirely. But looks like it's 3 minutes to the Big Show. By the way, have any of you watched the Big Show on Netflix? Loved it. Great family show. Great to watch with your kids. The Big Show. And who knew how the Big Show is as funny as he is? Really, he's hilarious. Well, but so that was that. Big Papa Pumps a hookup. Holler if you hear me. Hello. Oh no, he wasn't the guy who came out to say, "Hey, hello, ladies." But he had them, yeah, like there's any shock that he was on steroids, right? Hey, Kachun, my Gemini brother. Oh,
did you go ahead and start without me?
No, I've just been talking for a while. I figure we shut this down eventually, and then
start a new one.
Yeah.
No, well, it's the one I set up, so we'll just keep rolling.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you set up something different. I thought you were going to set it up later.
Yeah. It's all right.
We got 20 minutes of me talking about nothing and something and everything. Right. Big Boss Man's in the house.
Hey, I told him get the crowd warmed up.
Here, you sit up some. All right. Ooh.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Got a little bit of Dutch tilt going on. That's all right.
Dutch tilt?
Yeah, the old Batman TV show where everything was kind of on a little cocky angle.
Look, 3 seconds he's been here, and I'm already being educated on something.
I'm all about sharing the knowledge.
Wrestling in the early 80s, the Von Erichs, yes, Ric Flair, Andre Holt. You read the wrestling magazine, but did you watch the cartoons, Gore? Did you watch the cartoons? Hey, Vancouver.
I just got one quick thing to do. I need to put my stuff in order.
Cindy Lauper. And who's that? Captain Lou Alfredo? Not Lou Alfredo. Captain Lou Albano. Yes. Yeah, they were always known for a good gimmick. Speaking of a good gimmick, is anybody watching the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. fight this weekend? I mean, first of all, they're both in great shape. I don't know if they're in fighting shape, but they're both in great shape. I gotta get Jamie's cable password so I can charge it to his bill because my mother would shoot me. My mother. Well, she would too, but my wife would definitely shoot me if I bought a fight. Still think Flair is the greatest ever. Yes. And I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down. I mean, is there anything better than that? I became a fan of the Colts one year because they said it after every game. No cartoons. Yeah, if you thought the wrestling was campy, you would love you would hate the cartoons. Warlord, good evening.
All right, I'm almost there.
George Hackenschmidt. George the Animal Steel. How's that? Guys always eat the corner ring.
The turnbuckle.
I love Captain Lou Alfredo with a little broccoli and chicken. Man, don't get me started. I mean, this week I'm supposed to be focused on the turkey. But next week, that sounds like a great meal. I'll have to make up some. I have a great recipe for some Alfredo sauce. Hello, Matthew Poe. Reminds me of a song by Nappy Roots. All my life been Poe, but it really don't matter no more.
So I put the kids to bed. So
I changed your colors too.
Oh, well, thanks.
From blue to orange.
Let's get some branding going. Put the kids to bed so we won't have to deal with any of this right here.
Question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
That's all right, carry on.
My apologies.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies. South Korea's policy choices on North Korea have been severely limited.
South Korea's policies got nothing on me tonight.
I'm just telling you, if she ever becomes available, I'm snatching her off the market, even though I don't have kids.
Who, Bailey?
No, the nanny there.
Oh.
Bring her here on Saturday morning so she can take care of Bailey.
There you go. All right. Well, Victor, you've done a good job of getting the crowd warmed up. How many people we got here? We got Bulgarian Vigilante, Orangian Vigilante, Warlord, C. Wood, Comichead 84, Jackson Roy Kirk, Vancouver Comic Junkie. Hey, good to see you. That's a new name to me. Who's Your Nerd is here.
Gore Vidal.
Gore. Good to see you, Gore. Smell Kachun in there. Man. All right. Let's get the party started.
Let's get this party started.
You're the guest. You want to go first?
Oh, yes. Finally, Kenneth. Let's see. First of all, send me a really lovely letter. Let me make sure that's enclosed are some banger books to add me to your collection. It's been fun watching you. Wow. First of all, I am a much better reader than that. I usually have a firm grasp on the English language.
Are we better at 10 a.m. than we are at 9 p.m.?
I don't know. I like to think of myself as an early morning, late night person. I'm worthless while I nap. Enclosed are some banger books to add to your collection. It's been fun watching you get into the hobby. I can tell you're a good friend to my boy Jay Hood. Whoa, it's my boy Jay Hood.
Oh, we don't need to get in a fight now.
A great story about that before another time. I've heard you mention your enthusiasm for Black heroes many times. Yes, because I am one. Real life.
You're a Black hero.
Yes. So I included a couple extras that I think fit the bill. Enjoy the books. Kenny, 84. Thank you, my man. And let's just whip them out here. So the first one they gave me is there we go, Earth 2. I started reading this. Is that Jamie Foxx's Superman?
That's the first Black Superman. That's
Okay.
not the first appearance, but maybe a second or third appearance.
Look at that. And I started reading this. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is really interesting. But I need to read it again where I can just pay attention. Problem is, I have a cat. Whenever I start to do something, my cat likes to get involved, and it drives me batty. Let's see, New Warriors, number 1.
Appears to be, yeah.
Yeah, New Warriors number 1.
I don't remember it being the original number 1 being in gold. Maybe it's a second print. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was the first issue.
Oh, introducing Night Thrasher. Now I get it. All right. Yes. Okay. Now this makes all the sense in the world. And plus, you said black heroes. I don't know if you know this. The one thing black folks do have in common with Trump is we like our gold-plated stuff. And so now I guess I have to read this one first. Far Sector. Okay, I've been reading this. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been wanting to read one of the Green Lantern books. Oh, gold is the second print. Thank you. I've been wanting to read one of the Green Lantern books, and I'm in now.
I'm in the market for that book too.
Oh,
I think it's a good spec.
and so now I can't wait to get the trade. I'm assuming there's going to be a trade because I think they just had the last one, didn't they?
It's been going on for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and John's Comics with the Kids is a big fan of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Wait, Pete Gang, give me on the inside of something. And the book that explains the New Warriors book, Night Thrasher. And I'll just tell you, I am intrigued. Now I'm really intrigued, especially since it's one of the New Warriors. Not that I know what that means, but yes, first kick butt issue.
Nice.
And plus, this is just a pretty cover. Can you do this?
What? Use gold or red metallic?
Yeah.
It won't look like that, but I can do red metallic.
I mean, whenever you get around to doing my cover, I like some of that red metallic involved.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll go out and pick out one of those red metallic markers.
And then there's a song that came out a couple of summers ago. My main man, Jaden Smith, Seasire Smith, if you follow him on Instagram. And his dad, Will Smith, put a remix on it. Night Thrasher is awesome. That's good to know. And then my man, Kenny, he hooked the brother up with Icon, number 1. Yes.
Nice.
And, I love Milestone since I first heard about it. I've been trying to get as many as I can. Remember one time Jamie took me to one of those little honey holes, Tom's Toys. Was that what it was?
Yep.
Collected a lot of Milestones, but very few number 1s actually.
Did we pick up a hardcore there or something like that?
Hardware. And then he gave me Static number 1, the book that everybody loves, with the movie coming out. And speaking of Jaden wants to play Static Shock in the movie. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm excited for that. And those two go along with my Hardware number 1. Oh, yeah.
Man,
Yes.
you hooked you up with all of them.
Oh, no, I've already had. Alan gave me these.
Oh, that's right.
And then Blood Syndicate number 1. So now I have the complete set thanks to my main man, Comichead 84.
He got you the big ones in there.
Yes, but you got me the great ones. And I am so appreciative, so thankful. And I am really excited to really dive into Far Sector some more. And of course, Milestone whenever they start releasing those. But in Night Thrasher, I mean, not only just a cool cover, but this is a superhero I want to save me. Tell me, look, who can be him? It ain't Superman, because Superman gets beat up by everybody.
Only to make it interesting.
Well, funniest thing. All right, so I'm watching the TV show, and this guy's having a dream, and the Flash comes to him, and the Flash like, "Oh, I got this." He said, "Man, Flash, how are you so rich? How can you afford all this?" He said, easy. I invested in Marvel.
From the mouths of babes. There you go, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do.
And I appreciate it too, 84. Thanks for being one of those stand-up guys in this community, helping brothers out, throwing out AOKs. You're tops in my book. Who's Your Nerd likes those too. Let's get his comment up there. Those are amazing books.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got a stack of stuff.
You want mine for you later?
Oh, you got one? Yeah, we'll do that last.
All right.
So we can like bookend it. So I've been going for a couple months now where we had that Comic Books NYC had his New York Comic-Con replacement party, his big weekend event.
Yeah, that was great.
So I was part of the auction in that. And part of the reason I wanted to be in that auction is because there were some books that I wanted to upgrade. And for me to upgrade them, I've got to move them out of my collection so I can take that money and put in the new ones. And plus, if I keep the old ones, I'm never that motivated to upgrade. So I took the radical step of moving some books I wasn't comfortable with and rushed right out there to replace them with upgrades. So I honestly can't remember.
And if I know him, in a couple of instances, they were downgrades because he needed the books back.
No, they're better copies. I can't honestly remember if I showed this on one of our Saturday shows or not, but one of the books I moved was Mr. Miracle #1. So this is the replacement copy. So I'll get right up in that camera with that. That's all that glare. But my other copy was probably the guy that sold it to me said it was a VG. I trusted his grading. It had a 1/4 inch spine split, a lot of surface imperfections and things like that. But this is not anywhere near mid. It's probably a 7 or so, 7 or 8 in there somewhere. You know me, I don't know my grading.
Now, how old is that book? I see a lot of people that are collecting those, or trying to anyway.
This came out, I want to say in 70 or 71.
70? Really?
Yeah.
That book is older than me and it looks better than I do?
Wow.
It's a Mylar.
Yeah. Mylar does help. So I'm going to go through these books kind of in chronological order as I got them. So part of the whole thing about being on that auction, or it was a pop-up sale or buy it now sale, was that Coach Vic had a book he wanted to move that night, and I was like, buy it now. So I picked up his copy of Strange Academy. It's a Campbell cover.
It's got Campbell #1.
So I part of this is upgrading. This haul is upgrading books, and part of it is kind of getting into some of the bigger, more youthful spec books like this one.
Never been read.
Really, you didn't even read it?
I read the reprint.
Well, what reprint did you get?
#1.
A second printing?
Yeah.
It might be valuable too.
Oh, great. I need to get a third printing.
Vaguely graded. That's right. Straight up.
Vaguely graded.
So this is also another book that I've been looking into recently. There are some characters I'm more interested in. I bought the Invincible Iron Man stuff with Riri in it, but I'm not a big Riri fan, so I might move those. But
Okay.
this was another younger character that I was into because of her ties to Jack Kirby, with her guest starring in a book with Devil Dinosaur. So Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #1, the cover A. I was hoping to get 9/8 candidate, but it's got some color rub on the back. So
You said you don't like Riri much?
I'm not a huge fan, though.
Why don't you give me those Invincible Iron Man books then?
What, like I gave you the first appearance of Shuri?
Oh yeah, well, that was your fault. We didn't know Black Panther was going to die.
I've learned from my mistakes. So there's that one.
So you said you think why is this a good spec book? You said.
They're supposedly making a cartoon.
Oh, that'd be a good cartoon.
Yeah, and especially if me, I'm going to show it to my daughters when the cartoon comes out, and if they get into it, I'll save this for them when they get older.
Is it going to be on Disney or just somewhere?
Don't know if it's Disney or Hulu, but it's going to be aimed at kids, obviously.
Okay.
And I am interested in this character, reading more about her, because she's like the new genius in the Marvel universe. So she's like Reed Richards level genius. That's the way I understand it. I've never read it.
So is Tony Stark not a genius?
Yeah, he's not as big as
Reed Richards.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to make a book that works for him, or a movie that works for him.
Matthew Post says go buy the cover, the price on the cover. So
15 cents.
yeah, I'm not sure when the price changed from 12 to 15. Okay, so this is the other book that I upgraded, and it was I was looking at like where I wanted to spend, the amount I wanted to spend on this book. I was willing to settle for a few flaws here and there. I just needed a better copy than I had. This is when I had a staple pole when I got it, and I just can't live with staple pole.
Right.
But this has got a lot of black in the cover, and I ended up finding a nicer copy than I was hoping for. Paid a little bit more than I was intending, but I think I got a great deal on this nice looking Warlock Marvel Premiere #1. The most serious flaw is going to be that nick right there. But other than that, it's hard to find these where the spines just aren't like totally eaten up with spine ticks and color breaks and that kind of stuff. All the edges are really nice. The corners they're relatively clean. The bottom edge has a little bit of stuff going on down there, a few nicks. It's got a few spine ticks, but nothing real serious, nothing major. So I'm guessing this is like a 6.0, 6.5 in there somewhere.
So is this the part where I get to ask a stupid question?
None of your questions are stupid. They might be silly, but they're not stupid.
Okay. So if Warlock, Shazam, and the Flash are in the room, how can you tell them apart? In the same room, how can you tell them apart?
True words. '84 knows who he's talking about. Yeah, the red with the yellow lightning bolt. Not an original idea, but
Oh. I look on the wall like, what Marvel Premiere is he talking about?
so there's that. Okay, so there are certain books that I've been targeting, and there's sometimes you just see a deal come along that you're like, I might have to go for this because it's too good to pass up. So I'm sitting in Bell Tire getting new tires put on my car, so I'm already in for like $600. I'm like, what's another 60?
You get the great tires.
Yeah,
We got kids.
Indiana,
Oh yeah, true.
got to have those all weather deals,
That's just for Tuesday.
Yep. So this is a book that
Like a frog in a blender.
yeah. So there are some books that are on that I've got like on a 2020 hunt list, and the Marvel Premiere was one of them that was on my 2020 hunt list. So I had bought it this year, didn't like the one I got, and replaced it already. But then I've got a longer list. Let's say I've got 3 lists. Let's put it this way: I got my 2020 goal list, which we'll keep talking about that later. Then I've got like a near-term list of books that I'd like to have that maybe they've come along and piqued my interest since I made my 2020 goal list. And then I've got my long-term hunt list where it's just a bunch of books filling holes, that kind of thing. And there are keys in that where, if a good deal comes along, I'll check it off. So this is a case where a deal came along. I wasn't intending to buy the book. I wasn't intending to spend the money, but I'm sitting there waiting for my tires to be put on, flipping through things on eBay, doing my whole, okay, what's ending next? What's ending next? So this popped up, and it was ending in the next 5 minutes. So I was like, I'll sit here and watch it, and I'll watch the price go up, and the price didn't go up. So I was like, I don't want to spend the money, but I'll put a little bit of money in and see if I get lucky. And I got lucky and spent money I didn't intend to spend, but it's got a fantastic 450. I know it's of the Galactus trilogy. It's the least desirable because of the brown cover, and it's not in perfect shape by any means. But for the price I paid, the staples are solid. That's, for me, that's the most important thing when it comes to older, more expensive Silver Age keys. Over the ouchie price, yep. Let's see, of all the books I'm showing tonight, there might be 3 that were under the ouchie price.
Or all these eBay buys?
All of them except for the Strange Academy.
That was a VC buy.
There you go. So yeah. So I imagine this is, I don't know, grading maybe a 3.5 or a 4, I guess. I'm estimating. It's all there. You know, it's got a messy spine. It's got color breaks, but there we go. Silver goodness. You betcha. All right. So now you're going to have to vamp a little bit more so I can open these on the fly. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of tape and stuff involved.
Vamp. Oh.
Ben Compton, he's a fan of the brown cover.
Yeah. With Thanksgiving coming up, we all just need to remember, when cooking, there's flavor in the brown. That's why you always want to pour some wine in your pans to I can't remember the fancy term for it, but to make you some sauce, some gravy.
Make roux.
Oh, roux of all flour and butter.
Oh.
Look, when I did an internship at the largest church in the country, okay? One of my things I volunteered on Sunday mornings in the kitchen, and I made sausage gravy. And I'm gonna tell you, you never made sausage gravy. He made sausage gravy for about 2,500, because that's about how many people we served. 2,500.
Wow.
That wasn't how many people attended. That was more like 25,000. But I know how to make sausage gravy blindfolded, thanks to doing that every Sunday morning. Now I can only make a batch about yay big, but I can make some sausage gravy.
I miss how big was yay big.
That's about yay big.
Enough to keep 2,500 people.
Right. Of course, they got mad. I said, I'm going to need to tweak this recipe a little bit. Like, what are you talking about? I said, this needs a little more pepper. I'm like, no, it does. I said, trust me. Hit it up, put some pepper in there, a dice of red pepper flakes. Like, Victor, this is the bomb. I said, I know. Rule number one when it comes to food, always trust the fat kid. Just to let y'all know. Don't take food advice from skinny people. It never ends right.
You end up with tofu in the gravy.
Right. Yeah, you watch the food shows whenever it's the health person, and they say, well, tell us about your food. They never say, hey, it tastes great, or this. They say, first of all, it's really healthy. And that's how you know you're in trouble. Oh, yeah.
All right.
So you got that.
Yeah. So this is a book that Victor put me on. And it was relaunched as a series earlier this year. And when it came out, we were looking for the source material for it. It appeared in a preview issue, and then they did this one shot. And when we were looking at this before, it was like a $80, $90 book or something like that. So the book was a 6-issue miniseries, and the last issue came out. I was like, oh, I wonder if the interest has died down on this yet.
Right. Because when that came out, there's also talk of a movie. It was just all the talk around it became really huge.
Yeah.
But then it's just kind of,
So it's this book called Stealth. So they did a what they call a pilot episode preview book with this in it, and then they did one shots of each book that was in the preview issue. So this was originally created by Robert Kirkman with art by Mark Silvestri, and from what I've heard, they depart kind of somewhat far from this in the miniseries that came out.
Okay.
But we both really enjoyed the miniseries. It was kind of a mix of Batman and Iron Man with black folk involved. So,
Yeah.
but it was a cool total package. So if you have a chance to check out the miniseries of Stealth, I'd definitely pick that up, or you should have a trade coming out of it soon.
Yeah. Because when I first heard about these pilot season books, I was listening to a podcast. The guy we had on the show. What was the name of the guy we had?
Uncle Jerk. Was it him?
The guy we had on the Issue at Hand show.
Uncle Jerk.
Okay, is that who it was?
Which,
They had their podcast that was like really huge, but then they went away from it for a while, and they were just not coming back.
Around Comics.
Yeah, Around Comics. And so I was listening to one of their previous podcasts, and they had an NFL player on, a guy who played for the Bears, who was in the comic books, and he wrote a book that got picked up for one of these pilot books. I was trying to find it, but I can never find it. I love that I've been in this community, and like I wish I had the knowledge and confidence now, back in the beginning, because back in like Kenny said, or Comichead 84 said, I like black superheroes. Back in the day, I saw Ultimate Fallout 4 for like $25, $30, but I'm like, I ain't spending that much on a book. But see, if I had the confidence now that I have now, back then, I'm like, yeah, I'll get this, having no idea that it could blow up the way it did, mind you. But just because, hey, I like the Black Spider-Man. I like the regular Spider-Man too, mind you. But yeah, but that's just it. And this person packed this book up nice, didn't they?
So
by the way, Kenny, you packed those books immaculately. I mean, they could have thrown those things off a building, nothing would happen to them. So, just so people know, if he sent you something that's coming wrap tight, and you're gonna have to figure out how to get it done, open.
So these are the people I'm a little bit chapped with, because they didn't send my books until I filed a grievance with eBay. Like they sent me a packing list has been created for this item, and then it didn't ship. So I sent eBay a notice and never received the books, and I still never received any updated shipping information. And then they disappeared one day. So, I can't remember who it is. Otherwise,
You warn everybody.
I'd call them out. But these are just a couple of the.
Well, they make you earn and getting them books out, though. Right?
The Alex Ross, what do you call them?
Timeless variants.
Timeless variants. So I wasn't planning on picking up a bunch of timeless variants, but I did decide to get all of the X of Swords or 10 of Swords storyline. And I had to pick up a bunch of X-Men books that I really usually wouldn't have picked up. So given the choice, I signed up for the variants, Alex Ross variants.
Who gave you your first one of those?
My good friend, Victor.
Oh. And you know what? About 3 weeks after that did that, I decided I wanted to collect all the black characters.
Hey there, great legend. Good to see you.
Great legend. So I had to go back and buy the Storm book again, which I don't mind at all.
So one of these is an issue that I missed picking up off the shelf for whatever reason. I think the comic shop had sold out before I committed to buying the 10 of Swords. And the other is I had to buy another copy of the book with this cover on it. So I had the Wolverine, but I needed this version of Wolverine. And basically what I did was I decided I'm just going to get all of them, go back and pick that one up, even though I usually don't chase variants. But this way, someday I can have all the X-Men lined up on my wall behind me. I did really like this version of the Beast. I don't know what it is about this one, but he put a lot of character into that rendering of the Beast there.
And apparently, there's a couple more coming out
Um,
of timeless variants.
really.
Yeah, I forgot. I was watching somebody's show and they were talking about it.
So all that has been like the appetizers and the side dishes, and this one is going to be the main course for this haul.
And to fully flesh out this analogy, y'all had dessert first with my stuff. Because really, whatever he brings out, it's going to top anything I got. At least in my eyes. I mean, unless he brings out like Peter Parker, Amazing Spider-Man 76.
I want to say 64. You're talking
64.
about first appearance of Cloak and Dagger.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not in here. This is, however, a birthday book for me. My birthday is this week, but that's somewhat unrelated. But this came out within days of my birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Within days. So it might come out on like my wife's birthday, which is today. Love you, baby.
There you go.
We celebrated on Sunday, so I'm not being a bad husband by being here. Just in case y'all are worried.
And this is also
Woo-hoo!
another 2020 gold book.
My main man, King Kirby. Am I right?
King Kirby did do the insides of this book. And oh, they even put pull tabs on.
Once again, I ain't even gonna say it.
This is cleaner than I thought it was.
Yep, and look who's dead on the cover. Because he got beat up again. That is nice.
Hey, Bake the Snake. So, Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 134. The first cameo or first appearance, depending on your take, of Darkseid.
Nice.
Art on the inside by Jack Kirby. Art on the outside by Neil Adams.
Oh, you just got all the good ones on this one, huh?
Yeah. And this book is hard to find for a reasonable price in this kind of condition. Again, we've got a missing corner here, but other than that, it's pretty clean. Almost as clean as the one Biggie Shack picked up for $5.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I know.
wait.
I spent a couple weeks trying to get him to sell that to me, and he wouldn't do it.
Oops. Cheers to that movie.
Yeah, so we've got a couple color breaks on corners, a couple color breaks here and there, a couple spine ticks, a few spine ticks. But yeah, this is probably a 6, maybe 5.5, 6, something like that. I think I'm getting better at my grading.
Wait a second, I need to see the spiker. Oh yeah. I see it. I see it.
That guy right there.
Yes.
Yep. Maybe Randy Savage was inspired by this guy.
Where's Miss Elizabeth at? She can't be far behind.
Yeah, so yeah. Man, I'm pretty happy with that
That's
buy right
nice.
there.
That's nice.
The year, Who's Your Nerd?
Oh, let me tell you, it looks like it's a 70.
1970.
Woo.
Came out the first week of December, 1970.
Weren't you impressed I could tell it was a 70 by looking at it?
Well, when's your birthday?
June 20th, 1972. Bake, one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. Tell you what, we need to go out eating sometime together because you know all the good spots. Hey, did you start reading that book today?
Ready Player 2.
Yes. Oh, you heard me talking about it?
No, but I saw him talking. I saw you guys chatting about it on Instagram.
I'm kind of pumped about that.
So, even though Victor says we had our dessert first, I think these books are kind of sweet, and I didn't want to end on this and then just go away. So I've been eyeballing these books, this series, for the better part of the year. Somebody on Instagram showed some of the interior pages, some of the covers. It's like,
Oh, so they're really trying to sell it then.
well, they're just, doing the kindness of sharing comic book goodness like I like to do. And it's a series I never, ever would have considered. And I started looking into, I'm going to have to cut the tape. I started looking into the artist on it, and I've become a huge fan of his. I want to track down more of his art. And it's not somebody that everybody talks about all the time either. And these are Silver Age books. And they're pretty.
They are.
If you are a fan of Archie,
So that's what the
the
font reminds me
comic
of.
books of last resort, I think you might like this.
Font lettering, I guess, reminds me of.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so this was a 7-issue series, and it's a DC book, and started out in Showcase. So I need to get the
What's
first.
Showcase?
Showcase is a series that kind of started a bunch of DC's books from the 60s into the 70s. So a character might debut there, and it was kind of a test bed. Then they put them in their own series.
Okay. Kind of like the pilot season.
Yeah, very similar to that. So this is Angel and the Ape, with art by Bob Oxner and inks by Wally Wood. So Oxner was more of a cartoonist than we're used to seeing, compared to a Neil Adams or a Dick Giordano. But yet you can see his influence in their work sometimes too, because Neil Adams had the ability to cartoon like this.
No.
Thanks, Who's Your Nerd? He did the math, you see. And so I got issues 2, 3, and 6.
Now, are these books that you'll actually read?
Sure.
Because I've often wondered that, but when people get like old books or valuable books like that, they risk reading them, or they just look for a digital copy somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that this stuff has even been reprinted. But the Angel and the Ape are not terribly expensive. I've been eyeballing them for a long time. Matthew Poe's already there. So I've been eyeballing these for a long time and just never pulled the trigger on any of them. And I found one buyer that had them all at reasonable prices in nice shape. And so went ahead and bought all 3. I was the only bidder in the auction. And
You said there's 7 books in the series?
Yep.
But the first one's a Showcase book?
Yeah. And these are nice copies. They're not mint. Like this one's got a crease that almost breaks color right there. But for a book like this, where I'm not, this has virtually no spec, no spec appeal, I guess we call it.
I mean, that book looks great. I just don't know what to look for yet.
Well, with the 12-cent color or cover price, these are older than 1970, so they're all older than me and you.
Yeah, and me.
But one of the things that appealed to me about this series also was the ape he's a cartoonist. He's like a comic book artist. So you've got some cool looking art, some a little bit of sex appeal with the angel. Got the cartoon, the comedy going on, kind of a slapstick comedy thing. I can relate to the ape as relating one artist to another. They're always investigating these silly mysteries, from what I understand. And usually, this one doesn't have it, but you can plainly see on this one. Sometimes they deal with some of the old Universal Monsters type dudes.
Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I want to pick up the showcase these guys appeared in. I'd like to get the Batlash. I'd like to get that Dolphin. You made me real jealous when you picked up those issues of Dolphin.
Yeah, I remember seeing those.
But yeah, these are right from the same era, like within just a few issues of that Dolphin. There you go. That's why I only use one piece of tape on mine.
Preach. I had to make that mistake once before I learned.
So that's what I got. That's my stack of stuff.
Nice. Now, I've always been on the lookout for something that can get Jamie, right? Because I feel like he has everything. Now, a long time ago, I saw something that was going to come available in like what month is this? In like October or something like. There's no way Jamie will have this, right? No way. Now, once again, I'm new, and I always joke that whenever we see something, Jamie goes, "See, that's the stuff that they put out for you." Because, like, like there's a sucker born every minute, and I'm new. Like, we were at the comic book store one time, and there's this really cool looking Hero for Hire book, Hero for Hire #1 facsimile looking book. I was like, "Jamie, what about this?" He said, "You don't want that." I said, "But look at it, it's really cool. It's Hero for Hire." He said, "You don't want that." I'm like, why not? Just trust me. Like, he didn't want to talk bad about the people stuff in the store. He's like, "Victor, it's just a gimmick. It's nothing real." But
I can't remember what that would have been about.
it was like some really cool. It said like 50th anniversary Hero for Hire #1 or whatever. Or Luke Cage on the cut. It was something gimmicky.
Okay.
But either way, so I found this and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this for Davey. And it just happens to come right before his birthday. It wasn't intended as a birthday present, but here we go. And so like I said, I already know he doesn't have it, but here you go.
Marvel Greatest Comics, 100 comics that built a universe. That's very cool. I have not seen this.
Forward by Joe Quesada. That's somebody I've heard of.
Joe Quesada. Yeah.
Quesada. See, so close.
Quesada.
So basically, there's 100 comic books that it talks about. And it's not the comic books, but it gives you the history and the details and the story behind it. And why I felt like it's an important book that goes into why they say the most 100 comic books to help build the era or whatever it says.
Yeah, man. It's of course, it starts with Marvel Mystery Comics #1. And then, it goes through the other Marvel Mystery Comics. It's the first appearance of Submariner, Captain America 1, Fantastic Four 1, all the Silver Age #1s. So it gives a spread on each comic book, except for Spider-Man, which I saw they gave at least 4 pages to, which is appropriate. Yeah, so they give you all the high points to the Silver Age. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1. I know that's popular in the community. I'm not a Spider-Man guy, but I know what I've seen.
You're a Batman guy. If they had a DC one, I would have got that for you.
Sure, it'd be just, yeah. This is a book I'm looking at every once in a while.
Wow.
Strange Tales #135, where Nick Fury becomes an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a real undervalued book. You can get rough copies for a real reasonable price. It's another book I'm looking to pick up someday. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. This particular Spider-Man issue I think was really cool.
So basically, I just got you a spec list. I mean, a wish list. What do you call a list?
A hunt list. I've got that one.
Let's be in this monster. I've seen that one.
I've got at least 1% of these books. Very cool. Silver Surfer 3. They go to Silver Surfer 4. They skip Silver Surfer number 4. Well, they covered number 3 because it's the first appearance of Mephisto.
Ooh, I'm Mephisto.
Or Mephisto. X-Men 56, first Neil Adams.
Hey, there's a Warlock again.
I got 2%. Like to get that one someday. Amazing Spider-Man 121. I might have like 5% of these books. Yeah, it goes all the way through the bronze,
What age are we in now?
modern.
Yeah, it has
It's generically modern.
there's a couple of generically modern books in there. Then, I mean, 2006. Oh, that was Civil War, though, wasn't it? That has to make it, doesn't it?
This one's going out to Hialeah in its prize pack. Original Sin number 8. That'll be part of the prize pack for him for winning our wall book riddle contest. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 4.
Really? She has her own comic?
Oh yeah,
I've just seen her in the cartoon
people like to make fun of her
because she has a big old tail.
and buck teeth, and it's. I don't get it. They didn't make her for me. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Goes all the way up to Avengers number 6 from 2018. And then they have.
What's that? The honorable mention list there.
They don't really say. So the last book they give a full spread on is the Avengers number 6 from 2018, and then for with no explanation they go back in time and cover some other books.
Hmm.
So I don't know if they count towards the 100 or I imagine they do.
Kasar the Savage. Power Man and Iron Fist.
Number 15. Did I give you that one?
No, I don't think so.
I meant to. Look, I've got 2% of the books I pulled
Oh, there's yeah.
just tonight are in here. Very cool. 100 greatest comics. 100 comics that built the universe. Very cool. Thanks, Victor.
You're welcome. Like I said, at the very least, I figured you didn't have it. I was hoping you would like it. You gave me 125.
Okay.
I love the CLZ app.
So, okay. Show's almost over, but we'll do a recap. We'll go back in time, do a reverse order. Got 3 issues of Angel and the Ape in no particular order. There's number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2. Number 6. And these are all real colorful covers, all of them in the series. Then we've got that old man comic book, My Birthday Book, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, 134.
Did you get that day you sent me that stuff about birthday books?
I'm not sure. I was texting you when I was bidding on that, though. Got the Alex Ross Beast cover and the Wolverine cover. I've got all the others. I haven't shown them in the halls, but Stealth by Kirkman and Silvestri. Silver Age Kirby Goodness, Fantastic 450. Cool Marvel Premiere number 1, Power of Warlock. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 1. Strange Academy number 1. and that upgrade to the Mr. Miracle #1. And last but definitely not least, Marvel Greatest Comics. 100 comics have built a universe.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting too. You look on the inside cover. What are those books? There's one on each inside cover.
So this is what he's talking about. And then what's this on the back? So these would have been strips done somewhere, and I couldn't tell you where they probably did a little bit of a how we work.
Oh, this is kind of like the book that you uncover. No, it's not how to do a comic book. You want to how to grade a comic book, right? Or something like that.
No, I want to do Understanding Comics.
Oh, okay.
But this would have talked about their mythical process of creating comics. So it's Stan and Jack there. And then inside the back cover is Stan and Steve Ditko. Hey, who dat? How you doing?
Who that? And the AOK that I got from Comichead 84, Night Thrasher, #1. I already had Hardware 1 and Blood Syndicate 1. But he added to that with Static #1.
Very nice.
And Icon #1. And let me just tell you, I'm excited about the Icon book. Mainly because it involves my main man, Reginald Hudlin, who is from the great St. Louis, Missouri.
There you go.
He also gave me Far Sector #1, which I read and I'm really excited about getting the trades for that. New Warriors #1, which has the first appearance of Night Thrasher. So that's really cool. Looking forward to those. Earth #2, which has Jamie Foxx Superman on it. And a lovely letter.
Very cool. So, who dat? I did get your package sent out like I showed you. That's how we got a deal going.
Oh.
I'll have something else I can show later on.
Who dat?
And he'll have something.
Who dat? How do you feel about Taysom Hill getting the start over Jameis Winston? Or maybe you don't like football.
He's who dat?
Oh, yeah.
He's a big Saints fan. All right. Well, that's about all I got.
Well, I have.
Cool. Okay, and Joe, come on up. Hey, man. We're just about ready to get out of here. We've been going for an hour and 13 minutes. Coach Vic put on a good pregame, so you can go back and check that out. One other thing I wanted to mention.
Oh, yes.
This it's a J Hood Christmas thing.
Yeah, very J Hood Christmas.
Dude, get the word out. Send people that video I did a couple weeks ago. It was just a short 5-minute video to sign up for this thing. I just want people signing up, participating, so I can send this out. It's going to be a big thing for the whole community to enjoy.
Trust me, you'll want to be a part of it.
So all I want is to say, hey, I want to be in. These are other people I watch and participate with, and then go tell those people to come back to my video and sign up too, so they can be a part of it too. I just want it to be as big as we can get it. So appreciate it if you can help spread the word on that. And yeah, so with that, we will bid you adieu. Remember, on J Hood Creative channel, we remind you to keep your priorities straight: faith, family, comic books. Have a nice Thanksgiving.